Hey Raz, how you doing? Yeah, I almost forgot myself. Been so busy with everything. Hey Raccoon. Did you at least get any stuff done while you were off? Or just take a break? Hellspawn, you can use any kind of gloss paint, but if you want something that's glossy but won't like rip up your paint if it dries too fast on you, you can use the Vallejo Mecha Varnish Gloss. You can use this is clear from Tamaya, but it's not really like glossy, but it can make it look clearish, glossy, but without being like super glossy. Or they have a Mecha Varnish, which is a gloss varnish. This I did on the recent Power Girl statues I just posted. So this will give it a gloss, and it may look a little cloudy, but once it dries, it's glossy. But this stuff here is if you put it on the lips and you keep trying to work it on the lips, as it dries, it starts ripping up all your paint. So this stuff you have to do like one quick layer, but this stuff goes on very thick. This stuff you could go on very thin. So it depends on and there's other gloss stuff out there. It just depends on if you glob it on or you don't. Yeah, last week I forgot it was the 4th, so I had a bunch of stuff going on, so I completely lost track of time on what to do, and I couldn't stream. Just had way too much going on. But got a lot of stuff done this week though, which is good. And I don't have a. I mean, I put the gloss. I mean, I don't have anything I can test on. I can test it on this. I'll show you right now. I'll be stripping down this paint anyway, so it doesn't matter. So, like, say you want to gloss up her eyes. I mean, they're already a little glossy, but if you want to gloss up the eyes, this Vallejo stuff, you can just kind of put a little layer on. You don't have to use a lot. It's a little cloudy. You can kind of see it's a little bit cloudy on the eye, but if you hit it with a blow dryer, it'll kind of go away, and it'll stay glossy. You don't really need to go super glossy with this stuff. I mean, even like here, you know, see how it's kind of cloudy on the black? Now I'm using a paintbrush, of course, but if you spray it too, it's a little bit different. So you see how that's a little bit cloudy? I'll hit it with the blow dryer. So hitting it with the blow dryer takes away the cloudiness, but it stays glossy. So this varnish stuff, you don't need a lot. You know, you just a little bit on the lips. Hit it with the blow dryer, let it dry, and it comes out glossy. You know, and this is it's an acrylic, so you don't really need to go crazy with it. Now, if you put a lot on it, and you don't like kind of let it cure correctly, it can kind of glop up, because you can kind of see how it sort of does, like if it does get gloppy a lot, it will cure like a cloud. But yeah, it goes on pretty well. But if you don't let it dry though, but I mean, you hit it with the blow dryer, you know, it kind of, you know, I'm not really like grabbing my finger in there, but it dries pretty well. Now, I don't usually use this stuff for like this stuff to gloss it up, but I use this stuff good for eyes and lips and teeth and stuff. You know, you could do it if you painted the mask flat black, you can use this stuff on there and gloss it up. So, yeah, the Mecha Varnish stuff, they have gloss, satin, and flat. Invest in them, they're really good paints. Yeah, if you let it dry naturally, it will go away. That's if you just try not to go super thick on it. You know, really don't try to like glob it in there. You're better off, if you want glossy eyes, do a layer, let it dry, do another layer, let it dry. Because if you try to stack, like, I've seen a lot of people do this, you know, like say you have a statue and you do the eyes, they want to glob a whole thick thing of clear paint on the eye, and what happens is the eye socket like holds it like a pool of water, and it looks weird. So if you do the Mecha Varnish, like a little bit of a layer, let it cure, and then another layer, let it cure, you'll get a gloss coat without having like this much thick clear on top of the eye. Because if you ever screw up the eye, or you have to repaint it, and you have like a thick layer of clear over the eye or lips, it becomes a nightmare to try to correct it, because you have to scrape it out of the eye socket. Same thing with the lips. Yeah, no problem. I would, like I said, I would look into the Mecha Varnish, get the flat, because the flat will flatten anything. I use it in a lot of my videos. And the satin gives you like a semi-gloss. It's not like flat, but it's not glossy. So you have 3 different options. The only downside on that stuff is it will clog up your airbrush around the tip of it. I'll show you. So if you, well, my airbrushes are old, but sometimes what happens is this area in here of your airbrush, starts to get clogged up in there and it doesn't spray right. So usually I have to pull off the cap and clean out the area in there. It doesn't really clog in here unless it's like you squeeze it out and it's got chunks in it. So you'll get used to it. You just got to be careful. But if I'm doing like a latex outfit and I have to gloss the statue, I'll use a different paint than that though. Like a Spaztec clear or something. I keep forgetting his boots are yellow, so I gotta paint the yellow boots. Yeah, that's why I try not to mix enamels and acrylics in the same airbrush. Because it always pulls up, the enamels will always pull up like the acrylics. And yeah, stuff like tends to cake up if you're not careful, so. Then again, my airbrushes are so old, I need to get new ones. All the chromes come off the inside. So I kind of painted this up a bit. I'm gonna do some of the soda bottles today. I'm going to wait. My friend Meta John printed me out stickers for here, so I'm gonna put stickers on here. So that should look better once that's done. Once I get the stickers and I finish these elements, Giganto will be all finished up. I did a little work on Wonder Woman. We'll pull her out in a bit. She's almost done too, so. Oops, missed the spot. Probably do another layer on that since it's over red. Alright, we're going to simplify the bench. Not going to go too crazy. Don't want to make it look like new wood, but I want to make it look older wood. So I used to have a garage kits color that probably is gone. Figure we'll do metal sides and older greenish darker wood. So let's experiment. A little bit of sandstone with some raw sienna. And I think we'll take some of our mix and match color of paint, which is a grayish color. Let's see what we get. This is a brown tint from Freak Flex. At this point, I'm just showing a bunch of color on it, so who cares? You know what? While it's wet, let's see if we can wear it out. Hey, Wells. Cleaning's always a good thing. Alright, so let's grab a paintbrush, some water. Let's see if we rub some of this off. Kind of make it look so it looks like people sit on it. A little bit of the striation from the printer, but not the end of the world. So I guess what we'll do is paint the pieces here like a rusted metal. I want to make sure it doesn't disappear into the I might do a little bit of green tint on the wood though. So any of you guys excited about the San Diego Comic-Con coming up? Kind of hoping some cool new releases at least. I'm wondering if Tweeter and Sideshow will show off some new stuff. Hey, what's up, Jacob? Thanks, Jacob. How did you know? Do I have it set up somewhere? What's up, Hulk Smash? Ah, I didn't know I had it posted somewhere. Unless maybe it was on statue form or something? Oh well. Well, no, thanks. I appreciate it. They probably did. That's the only place I have it set up, so at least that I can think of. Yeah, getting older. It's catching up. I'm actually going to the comic book show in Morristown on Sunday. It's kind of like a birthday gift to myself, just to get out of the house and go to a show that I haven't been to in a long time. I'm hoping they got some older books there. Some fun stuff. It's called the Garden State Comic Book Show or Garden State Show or something like that. Yeah, I think I might want to try to complete some CGC books. There's also a company that's going to be there that does restoration, pressing, and grading for you. So I'm going to bring like 4 books to test them out, see how well they do. Because I'm trying to find, trying to complete like collections now of key stuff, but I want them graded at high grades. So I think I'm going to try them out, see how well they do. I just want to see some artists. There's also an artist that's going to be there. I can finish my signatures of the Quasar Annihilation Conquest series. The inker, I think, is going to be there, Bob Allman. So I want to have him sign the books. I wish there was more artists going, but I guess everyone's getting ready for the the San Diego Comic-Con, so... Plus, it'd just be fun to get out to go to an old school comic show. Hopefully, it's like a lot of guys selling books just to look around. And hopefully it's not like a lot of like anime cosplay stuff like New York Comic Con. Well, New York Comic Con was fun until it just became like an advertising venue. That's good, Raccoon. Yeah, I think there's gonna be a couple, you know, actors and stuff this Sunday there. But I'm not really into any of that, so. I think I'm gonna wear the bench a little bit more up top. I would love to go back to the New York Comics show if they had all the original vendors back in the day. I used to love to see comics and certain things. Yeah, the one year I got to meet and talk to Peter David. Got him to sign my Captain Marvel books. Nice guy. Yeah, he's doing the Captain Marvel book again, so I'm picking them up. Hopefully it's a good story, and hopefully if I ever could meet him again, I can have him sign those. That looks like a nice old worn bench. We're gonna do some weathering of the metal, and that should work out. I think I told this story last time, well, in one of the chats, but when I went to meet Peter David, he was selling some of his scripts, probably some of the stuff that you read, and some guy wanted his signature, so actually he took his pen, went over to Peter David's scripts and checked to see if the pen ink was working, and then asked Peter David to sign the books, and he was like, "Dude, I sell those scripts, you just wrote all over it." And the guy didn't even have the nerve to buy the script that he destroyed. I was like, oh. I was like, great, I'm next up online and he's gonna not want to talk to me. But he was pretty cool. I showed him the Philo Veil that I made, the Captain Marvel Bowen designs back then. He liked it a lot, so. Yeah, it was. I was sitting there, and he had a sign that was like scripts $11 a piece or $7 a pop or whatever it was, and the guy was just like, he had like a stack of books like this, the sign, and Peter was like, dude, you just destroyed my thing. I'll do like 4 books for you, you know. Alright, I just need to dull that down because the gloss stuff. Do another coat of this first. Oh, he wasn't too happy. He let the guy know that he wrote all over his scripts, but I wish it happened after I talked to him, because he wasn't in that good of a mood. Alright, I think that looks good. Doesn't really jump out at you, but it's not just a blank bench. The problem is it's such a low quality print, it's got those striations, so it's kind of hard to capture it, but I think it works. Usually the bench stuff is kind of painted green, so good old flash goes right here. Okay. Now, start painting up some of this elements. So I guess the best way to do this is just do like clear coats of reds and blues on these cans. I think that's the best way to work it out. So hopefully it just goes over nice and clean. Instead of trying to make the green and blue are never really go over silver too well, so we'll just do pearl maybe. Green pearl can. Yeah, that'll look a little bit better. And maybe we'll stick to the pearls. Pearl blue. Not really good with all the small detailing stuff. That's why I hate painting small things. Selling on eBay now, honestly, it's kind of like it was before, except you just take more money out of you. I mean, if you're gonna sell over $600, you get hit with that 1099K. So you have to talk to your accountant. So say you bought this item back in the day for $50 and you sold it for 20, so you took a loss on it. But how is the IRS going to know because you bought it back in the day? You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand how people are going to get through this whole thing where they have a collectible when they were a kid, but you sold it for a loss on eBay. You know? So from what I understand, you have to talk to your accountant about all this stuff. But I have an LLC, so all the stuff that I sell through the business, I always pay taxes anyway. But if you're, whatchamacallit, if you're doing it personally, you gotta talk to your accountant about it, you know. I don't know all the rules yet and regulations, but it's not gonna be fun for everybody. Now, as far as the whole bank account, so basically it just doesn't go to PayPal anymore. It goes to your bank account, but they hold your funds for a few days. So more or less what they're doing is they're keeping those funds in an account where they're getting interest, and then they pay you out. So you figure with so many transactions a month, a day, that are sitting in an account, they're probably getting interest on. Now, I don't know if they're doing that. I don't know if it's legal, but that's what I heard. So whenever I sell an item now, it takes like 3 days for it to get into my bank account, or a few days, so you don't get those funds instantly anymore. No, it's not really a huge risk. I mean, it's the same thing as when you had PayPal connected to it, I guess. You can set up a throwaway account too if you wanted to, instead of your main account. No matter what you do now, you're screwed. If you have PayPal, eBay, Venmo, everything is being tracked. Now, I don't know if you guys know about that application called Whatnot. So you can sell your comics and toys live. Like say I'm on Whatnot, and I say, okay, Giganta's up for sale now. We're starting her off at $500 and 30 seconds on the clock. So people can sit there and bid it up till the clock is either done or till nobody stops bidding anymore. And then you sell your item live on Whatnot. But Whatnot is also taking, is taking a percentage, and then you get taxed, and they set the shipping costs. And then there's certain buyers who want to make sure you have a legit bank account, and you can't buy from them unless you're legit. So everything you do is just a shit show now, basically. And there's just no way around it, I guess, anymore. That's why I have my website now too, because if I list something on eBay, and if anyone in chat or knows me, if they contact me off of eBay, I'll pull the auction to give a better deal, because in the end I'm going to lose all that money to taxes and fees anyway. So if somebody wanted something, they could just say, hey, I'm interested in your item, can you do better off of eBay? And I definitely would. But that's why I jack up the price on eBay compared to my website, because eBay hits you with all those fees, you know. Hey, Iceman. Yeah, Raccoon, it used to be 200 auctions or $20,000, and then you had to claim your money. But with the new administration that came in, they put it down to $600 because they want their money back from the pandemic. But rumor is they're supposed to put it back up to $10,000. So I don't know what the hell's going on. No, if you're in Facebook groups and you're selling through the Facebook Marketplace, you're gonna get hit with a 1099K as well there. Basically, we're gonna have to go back to the old days of actually going to a show and paying in cash. Yeah, this is the hot dog stand. Trying to get it painted up. Once I paint it up and the stickers come in, it'll be all done. This is all that's left on her. It's just a hot dog stand. And then once this is done, I'll put a post on Patreon to see if any of the patrons want to purchase her. If not, I'll throw it on eBay. What elements do you got to paint left on your item, Iceman? Oh, so you got a ways to go then, right? Yeah, I'm gonna put on decals. My friend printed out stickers, so I got a sticker that's gonna have all prices. I got another sticker that has a picture of Wonder Woman with hot dogs, and then this one's gonna have a Booster Gold, and that should work pretty well because I Dremeled out the hole, so the umbrellas go in there pretty well now. So you can put the umbrella up or down and just set it up like that. Kind of like it down more. This way Flash can actually see what's going on. Yeah, once I get the stickers, I'll put them on. It should look pretty good. I mean, there's nothing else really to do. Get all these paints out of the way. I'll have to take a look when I get a chance. You know what I forgot? I set up my camera. Yeah, I had my camera set up for the photo studio, so maybe that's why it's kind of all wonky at the moment. Hold on, just kind of... Yeah, sorry about that. I completely forgot to set this up. Oh well, we'll leave it at that. No, that's even worse. Heh. I don't know, how does that look? A little bit better? Alright, let's move some of this over. Yeah, so Giganta's pretty much ready to go, just about. Base is pretty much done. Yeah, I don't like it. It's got that weird bar in the middle. I gotta really Figure out what the hell I did to this thing. Well, that should be good. Paint booth is always important. Alright, yeah, color looks a little bit better now. Yeah. Alright, there you go. So, yeah, she's pretty much done. I did work on Wonder Woman as well. All I have to do is tiny touch-ups, and Wonder Woman is done as well. I gotta do the rope too. So when you put these pieces here, they're gonna make marks because there's nothing I could do about that. But I put her shin guards on. I just gotta touch them up a bit. Yeah, because what happens is the paint kind of bonds together a bit. Yeah, I could have probably have done that, but I think at this point I'm tapped out with how much I already put into it. Yeah, but Wonder Woman, so as you can see, I got the shin guards on her. Sorry, I can't get the camera back that far. But yeah, so I got the shin guards on her. I cleaned it up a bit. I got a little bit more touch-ups to go, but she is pretty much done. I only had a little bit of a cleaning up to do over here. I got to do some more. But I figure I'd ask you guys now. So should we put blood on her axe? Should we put blood on the base? Should we spray some blood splatter on her arm or anything? I don't know. I'm leaving it up to you guys. Maybe we'll do a poll. But Giganta, we're pretty much ready to go. So once I get the stickers with Giganta, I'll do a final video. Get her out of the way. We're going to work on these two for a bit, see how far I can get with them. But so I'm thinking blood splatter. So let's do a poll. Just get a basic idea from you guys what we should do. There is already blood on the sword, so we could do a little bit of blood like this onto the axe. I'll definitely I could put some blood and drips on the skulls, but I don't know. I want to see what you guys are thinking. I guess I gotta get the clear red again. So I'm pretty happy with the way she came out. Had a lot of fun painting this one up. I have to put her lasso on, and I'll put the lasso on when I'm ready to do the video. I'll just tie up some rope and I'll wrap it around there. If I was going to do cuts on the body, I would have had it done that with, I would have had to think of a battle damage version of her when I did the sculpt work, because I probably would have dremelled out a little bit of line work in certain areas and actually made like the cuts deep into the body instead of trying to force it with paint. I don't like trying to do like cuts on the body unless you kind of scrape up the resin a bit. It makes it look a little bit better. All in all, though, I'm pretty happy with her. Like I said, it's a good statue. It's definitely sculpted well. It's just that Sideshow Factory really made the paint so dull on her. I think if the factory matched up the prototype way closer than what they did, it probably would have sold a lot better. Yeah, just like the Power Girl, they messed up the factory paint on that. They did good with the Jean Grey, but it was only the head sculpts that had the skin. The Storm that I got in the mail looks really great. So I guess it just depends on the factory if they can match it or they can't match it. So far, it's just pretty much the axe. So I guess what we'll do is pretty much just put some blood on the axe and some on the skulls, and that's about it. I think if I did more battle damage with like rips in the cloth, cuts on her, and really made her look like she was like in a crazy battle, then maybe blood everywhere. But then I think it would take away from the darkness character of her. I don't know. Alright, I guess that's about as far as we're going with the poll. Unless anyone else jumps in. So I guess we could kind of match this a little bit onto the axe. Looks like they just did a sponge on it. Now, if you're ever going to do blood splatter, and you want to do it the easier way, you just grab a toothbrush and you just kind of splatter it. Always spray it against the wall first to get the splattering not too crazy, and then after that you can start doing it. But since we're not doing splattering too much, I'm not going to use the toothbrush. I think I'm going to try to use a sponge and match the sword, because it looks like they just did a sponge and they just went around the edge. I think that's all they did. Alright, we'll just go with the axe and we'll do the skulls. So just in case, don't want to screw this up. Of course. Yeah, you could definitely do that with dripping blood. I've done it before with epoxy clear, but I'm not going to do it with this one. I think if I was to do it a bloody, crazy battled version, I would do that. Yeah, there's a couple ways of actually doing clear blood dripping and like really making it thick on an item. You can do clear resin with a little of reds into it. That works well. You can use so if you use the 2-part epoxy and you mix you gotta find this clear red actually works pretty well with it. You can mix this in there even though you're not supposed to mix paints with this. I've done it before, and what you do is you mix this up, and then if you get used to how this stuff cures, you can start dabbing it on the axe and letting it fall down, and it starts to kind of create like a like a dripping effect. And then if you're really good with it and you time it correctly, you can actually have this stuff drip down, and you can have drips coming off the axe. But the only problem though is this stuff doesn't actually cure to the point where it's like rock hard. It's always going to be soft, so you can actually break it off though. That's the only downside with doing it this way. But you can. I've done this before with drips and stuff. I mean, it's good if if I want to do drips so outside the eyes, like if I really wanted to make crazy blood coming out of the eyes, I could do this stuff. But it's too hot outside right now, and you don't want to mix this stuff up in the studio and not have vents. It will mess you up, so it's a little bit tricky with that stuff. Alright, so what I'm thinking is not actually like blood on the skulls, but I'm thinking maybe what I'll do is put a brush and put like blood underneath the skull areas. Sort of like blood that's in the ground. But I think this kind of matches together now a little bit. So at least both items sort of look similar. Let me wash out my sponge. No, hot glue won't work because once it starts to cure and you start heating it up more, it'll melt. Hot glue will help sort of keep it. Hot glue gun works, but it doesn't work. I don't like the idea of hot glue gun stuff. It always stays tacky. It never really cures, you know? So it could be like a hot day and that hot glue gun can sort of warp on you. I know some guys use that stuff, but I still don't like it because it's never really cured. It's just a preference. Alright, so for this one, get this out of my face. So I'm thinking what we do is we put a little blood around areas like this. Not crazy amounts, but just enough to kind of Sorry, the axe is kind of in the way. Ah, excuse me. Whew. Well, that's good. You said it was pretty expensive though, right? That putty? Because it's, you can't get a lot of it. Well, that's cool. At least you got something. It's better than not having anything. Yeah, it sounds like silly putty. It probably is silly putty. It's just kind of probably just a tiny bit different mixture because you know they can get sued or something. But you can make silly putty at home. There's formulas on how to make it. So probably the same thing because silly putty feels oily, you know? It feels like it's a little... it's got a little tackiness to it. This is the old one. So if you pull it fast, it does split, but if you stretch it, it stretches and then goes like that. So it's probably the same thing. What do you mean, oh my god? Yeah, it probably is the same thing, but like I said, they probably put like a couple ounces of a different chemical just so it's not officially silly putty, you know? Yeah, you can make silly putty. There's formulas on how to make it. I don't know exactly how, but you can make silly putty. Because if you look up the history of silly putty, they were trying to make rubber, and they created silly putty by accident. But I don't know how well it would come out, though. That's the other thing. Yeah, I think the military was making it. They were trying to make rubber, or they were trying to come up with something, and they made silly putty by accident. But then, you know, it started getting into people's hands, and they used it to make money, I guess. So schools and kids started playing with it by using it on Sunday comics and stuff back in the day. Nah, I think the spider webs would be more of a... It's been sitting there for years. This is kind of like she just got done with battle and the flames are coming out, so... Not sure how that would look. It's not a bad idea, but... Hey Anderson, how's it going? Yeah, we could have done some more stuff with the base, but at this point, I think we're kind of done with it. If I had an eyeball, I would do it one of those. I'm not sculpting one. If I ever find like small eyeballs out there in this scale, I would stock up on a couple. But so kind of like that. So a little blood around there, nothing too crazy. This way it matches the axe and sword without it being super nuts. So I like the Tamiya, Tamiya or Tamiya, whatever you want to call it, clear red, because it kind of goes on like a nice, good clear blood. For some odd reason, their red goes on better than their other clears. Like their clear, like blue and green, and the yellow goes on okay, but the orange, they don't like flow correctly on the item. But did I put that rope back, or did I? Yeah, I did. Did I put it over here? Here it is. Here it is. So basically, I guess I could do some of this now just so we can see how it looks. So if you take your rope, and something like this I wouldn't glue. I'd actually leave it loose. Because I like the idea that it's loose, and in case shipping, moving, damages, break, you can just sit here with another piece of rope and you can do this without sitting there like worrying about rope breaking or something. If you're, just take your time, stretch it with your fingers. And once it starts getting to be a pain in the ass, you kind of use another piece to kind of guide it through. So yeah, you can keep doing that with the rope, and then you can bring it down, and you have a rope on the side. See if I can get most of this through. Actually, this is pretty too long for her. This is like in scale. It's a little too long. But that doesn't matter. That doesn't look bad. What you do is cut it. So basically, you have her, and she's got her rope on the side, like so. So she got her sword, her axe, her rope, and her ring. So I think that's about it for her. I think I just need to do a little more touch-ups, go over it one more time, make sure I didn't miss anything. But she is pretty much all done. So I'm going to, if I find time next week, I'll go ahead and I'll touch these up. And I'll try to see if I can get a filmed on them and post videos. And other than that, that is about it for Wonder Woman and Giganta, other than the stupid little dinky things. Yeah, I had a lot of fun working on this. I appreciate you guys coming in, checking this out each week. Sword, I gotta touch up the sword. That's the other thing I forgot to do. Is I gotta finish up the sword and touch up anything I missed. But I'm glad this flaps worked out pretty well. You know, I wish they were 100% perfect, but it works for her. The only downside is it will leave some marks behind here, you know, but it's hidden. You don't see it once it's on there. Fun project. So we'll see if I can get that video up next week. So far we had a couple people vote on the Harley Quinn. Hopefully more of the Patreons can start getting some more votes in. I'm going to have to send out some messages so we can start planning that out. But we're going to work on the other two gals now. But this is this came out pretty cool. At least when I get in the photo setup, we'll see it better. Put her over here so I don't break anything. All right, so we'll start messing with these two girls for a few weeks until Harley is all ready to go. Put this here. So, as for April O'Neil, where's the picture of April? Why are you not letting me? Move. What's this? Move. Yeah, well, hopefully we'll get a few more guys set up, get some more votes in. I'll send out some messages probably next week for people to vote. So yeah, so this is April. I haven't worked on her pretty much at all since a few months ago. But today I dremeled out the center, so we're going to put a zipper here. It's not going to be as thick though. I'm going to take the zipper in a little bit, but it's just easier to have something here. So as far as the right hand goes, I think I need to cast up another so this way when it's soft I can split her hand. And I'm going to put a microphone in that hand. And then in this hand we'll use the, like the string will come from here into this hand going down there. So I just have to, the goal is, I was looking at it a little bit more today. And since her cuffs come up, I have to get the hand situated, and then I'm going to cut her, I'm going to cut this part from here, and this part from here, and I'm going to make these removable because it'll be a little bit easier to paint underneath here, I think. I'm not sure yet. I might leave the hands on, or I might cut them and make them magnetized. I just have to. The way it works is when you cast this up and the resin is super soft, what I could do is I can get a metal rod and I can cut this and I can cut and Dremel in here and I can split the fingers apart so this way I can get a microphone in there. But I'm going to go on to that site and see if there's any hands that are actually holding something, and maybe I'll just print out a hand. I haven't gotten that far yet. I haven't really thought much about it. Well, as we talked about a while back, so what's going to happen is we're going to have, she's going to be like she's in the street, and there's going to be that manhole cover here, and then the manhole cover is going to be coming up, and we're going to see two little white eyes and like two turtle fingers coming out of the manhole. So I have to measure out the manhole, because the manhole is not going to be that big. It's going to be a little bit smaller. But that's kind of like the base area, and then there'll be like a piece of pizza on the base or something, or like he's trying to, or like a box of pizza here, and like, you know, Michelangelo or Turtle's trying to come up and grab the pizza box. That's kind of what the base idea is, but for right now, We have to plan out the. So she's got pouches here. So there's a pouch here, and there's a pouch over here. So we got to have pouches there. We have to. I guess we're gonna give her some pockets in the back, type thing, and. So as far as her zipper goes, there's a couple ways of doing this. I'm kind of... Yeah, the manhole cover is going to be open, and we're going to see two white eyes here. It's going to be like a black... So imagine the manhole cover is like this. And it's going to be painted black, but you'll see two little tiny eyes here and two little fingers coming out of it. So it's going to look like a turtle's pushing it up. That's later down the line. Right now I have to kind of get through this hump of this stuff. So I do have the zipper. So if we split the zipper like so, and then we put the zipper going around here like this, I think it'll work. And then we kind of flip the collar over. So I think I might do the collar first and then put the zipper on it. But I don't know if the zipper is gonna, like, this zipper is gonna work with this scale and this small of a statue. But we'll see what happens when I get that far. So I'm thinking for her I could do the pouches today, and then I can try to figure out what to do. I gotta get these hands done first. That's the problem, because if I start trying to do all this cuff and this stuff and I don't get these hands situated and I need to make it removable, it'll be kind of a pain in the ass. So I'm gonna go onto the site when I get a chance and see if there's better hands, and then I might print out something a little bit better, and then I can start working on the collar and stuff. Because what I'll have to do is I'll have to roll out the A's one day when before we start a stream, so this way when I start the stream I could start building the collar when the A's is tougher. You know what I'm saying? So I'll have to figure that out. It's a 1/5 scale. It's not a 1/4. This is the old Sideshow Rogue item. So thinking what we'll do is we can do the pouches right now on her legs. Kind of working my way from the bottom up right now. And then at the end we do the hair. See, I have a lot more because this was a smashed up item, so I have to do all the wrinkles back here. I have to do wrinkles here, and then I have to build a collar. So I'm thinking I have to get the arms done, then do the wrinkles and cuffs, and then do this collar. So if I do this first, I probably would snap it. Because I don't want it to be completely on her body. I want to kind of have it like over. So she's going to be in a little bit of a limbo till I can get this hand situated. I'll start looking up this week. No, we this was all voted on, Iceman, like when I was working on it, people in the stream. So this is stuff that people kind of voted on as I was building. So we went different boots with baggier pants here, but we want to keep everything tight in the hips. So now normally whenever I build pouches, I use Magic Sculpt, and I don't have a hell of a lot left, but it's old enough that it'll work. So I figured let's do the pouches, and then I'll work on this hair for Shigo or Shago, whatever her name is. So I'll give you an idea on how I do pouches. So you figure her pouch is like right about here. And then like right about here, right? So I'm gonna go in the garage real quick and just Dremel some holes. This way when I put the pouch there, it bonds better. So I'll be right back. So till then, we're gonna be working on her hair next. Alright, so Magic Sculpt doesn't bond. I mean, Magic Sculpt bonds pretty well, but it doesn't bond as well as Aves does. To, like, you know, if you sculpt Aves onto this area here, it bonds pretty well. But Magic Sculpt will bond to it, but sometimes if you hit it the wrong way, it'll pop off. It doesn't, like, but if you do a couple notches into your resin or Aves and you put Magic Sculpt there, it'll bond into that better. It's sort of like the old way, if you guys ever did like pottery classes. Whenever you cut clay and you want to put clay on clay together, you got to kind of score it. It's kind of the same principle. So I'm not the best with pouches, but I do have a way of doing it with Magic Sculpt. So you don't need a lot of Magic Sculpt on this. And we don't need to do crazy thick pouches, just something fairly enough, so I think that should be good. Yeah, Raz, I just been so overwhelmed with everything I got going on, so just overloaded with everything, repairs, commissions, just it's been crazy. I've used Aves Safety Solvent with the Magic Sculpt, and I haven't really had an issue. But I haven't really tested it enough to go crazy with it, so I just use water. And I haven't really had an issue with the water like you have with Aves. So Magic Sculpt and water seem okay, but it does sort of dry up fairly fast. I think what I'll try to do is I'll try to get her hands set up, whether I find hands or I recast the hands, or I make a mold. And I have the mold. If I cast up the hands and I use it where it's hot and spread the fingers, and I'll also try to get a manhole set up too as well. I figure if I ask my friend to print it out, I'll have him try to print everything out in one shot. So this is this, for those who might not know, this is kind of like a winged item. It was just something I pulled in stream and people are voting on it. So it hasn't had a hell of a lot of thought. It's just kind of build as we go. I haven't done sculpting in a while too. I've been painting like crazy for the past few weeks. So it's kind of good to get back into it. So what I like to do is take a little bit of the Magic Sculpt. Because if you just slap the Magic Sculpt on it like that and you start sculpting, even though it does create those little tiny holes, sometimes it's better to take a little bit of your Magic Sculpt, soften it up, and just squeeze it in here first. This way you know you're getting it into there further. And then once this cures up, it'll lock into place really well. So let's try and make the pouches equal. So we'll see how well we can do. So we're gonna split this, and split this, leave a little on the side for the flaps, I guess. Yeah. So at least try to have equal amounts. Alright, so the cartoon pouches are simple. What I like to try to do, so I did this last time when I built a pouch. Oh, is my tool. It was here earlier. What did I do with it? Here it is. Alright, so what I like to do is try to create a little bit of a seam thing. That's the only thing that sucks about Magic Sculpt. It's like when you use water on it, it gets very like milky, and it doesn't like to spread as well as Aves. But since it's a pouch, it doesn't have to be super perfect. Alright, so let's see if we can match the other one and then do the flaps. Yeah, I kind of wish they went with the going back, kept doing with Adam Hughes' line. I really like these a lot. Kind of sucks that they stopped the line. I didn't mind the scale. I love the sculpts though. They were supposed to make that one half-scale Catwoman from Adam Hughes, and that never happened. It was shown at the one event. Wonder why that got canceled. I also saw the post that Adam made where he's not going to be doing comics anymore. He got a job with, what is it, Marvel Animation now, I think? It's another old school guy not doing comic books anymore. Well, not old school, but he's been around for a while. Yeah, I still love his artwork, you know? All his famous Catwoman covers and stuff. Jacob, I'm overloaded. I got so much stuff going on that I can't do everything every day of the week. So I kind of overloaded myself with all this stuff. So we got to kind of tone it down for the Friday streams. Too many projects at once. So I think what's going to start happening now is I'm going to try and just do the Friday stuff on Friday, and that's it. Not try and work on it during the week at all, because I just have to focus on commissions more than anything. I wish this stuff would go faster than it does, but it only goes so fast, you know. Hey Damio2K, this is Adam Hughes Rogue statue from Sideshow, 1/5 scale. It was produced a while back, so working on this to turn it into a April O'Neil. This April picture I have is something from the old game, old Sprite game. I don't know, I found it months back. I'm just using it as a reference pretty much. Yeah, Jacob, I've already put enough hours into a lot of my stuff lately. I need a break. Trying to get those Power Girls done was a lot of late nights. Alright, so sometimes I usually let this stuff dry and then do this, but we can try it now. See how well it works. a little bit wider. just enough magic soap that I mixed up. Not too much, but not too little. So I didn't waste that much on it. I'm pretty sure, doesn't Tweeterhead have the turtle license? Or am I thinking of another company? I'm pretty sure one of them will do an April soon and a Casey Jones. Thought it was Tweeterhead, or is it Pop Culture Shock? Who has the license? Alright, I think that works for pouches. This one's a little bit longer than that one, but that's alright. They don't have to be the same. I can put little knobs on them later for like a button. And not bad for something on the fly. Just take this rest of this magic sculpt, go throw it on some baby powder, use it for something else down the line. Or actually, maybe use it for her hair. It feels like a 1/6, but it's not. It's definitely a 1/5. Like this right here is a 1/4 from a anime kit. So anime is different. Well, at least I guess you could say the Japan stuff. But if you get a 1/6 from Boeing, you can see the difference between them. So that's a Boeing 1/6 scale. This is a 1/5. This is a 1/4 from anime, I guess Japan scale. And then if you get a sideshow item, you can see how bigger it is. You know, a 1/4 to it. But I think the DC females are larger than the Marvel females from Sideshow. So, for her hair, I probably should glue a rod. I remember the last time I did the piece, I had the hair come up like that. So I'm gonna build out more hair around here. You know what I think we'll do is I'm gonna build out this hair here around this arm, finish this up, and then once this gets a little bit tougher, I'm going to use this as a base. So what I'll do is I'll leave this like this, and that'll be a nice good starting point for the hair to go up there. So I'll roll this out a bit, and then we'll use this later as it toughens. The Vampirella from Prime 1 I think looks amazing, but it's $1,500 plus shipping and taxes, so it's not a Grail character for me. And plus I don't have the room for that scale of a statue. I have room for one 1/3 scale. That's it in my house. And it has to be a Grail of a Grail statue for me to get it. Because a 1/3 scale box, I don't know where the hell I would put in this house. That's another problem. And I'm not renting storage just for boxes. If I had like a collection, like crazy collection, I would rent a storage. But for one box, I'm not renting a storage. You know. Well, it's not a reveal today. It's more or less just it went up for pre-order, I guess. But they showed it at the Prime 1 event a few months back. I mean, if I was a Vampirella fan, that would probably be one I would have to get. I think for the Vampirella from Prime 1, Artgerm's artwork works for it, but I don't really like every single statue based on his artwork from them. I like what Sideshow's doing, where they actually sculpt an item and they kind of create the character based off of like maybe 5 different like actors or actresses or people, and kind of come up with a really cool face sculpt. I'm kind of over like specific artists and then sculpt an item off their artwork, because sometimes it's hit or miss. Like you might have 3 of them that look amazing and then there's 4 of them that don't, so I don't know. Yeah, by the time Prime 1 comes out with it anyway, it's going to be a long time. And you know, shipping is absolutely insane right now. So, and by the time it comes out, shipping could be even more, you know? That's another problem. But, like I always tell people, if it's a Grail statue, and it's something that you cannot live without, and it's your favorite character of all time, I always say go for it. There's nothing wrong with, you know, spending the money to get something you really, really want. I mean, you only live once, so you might as well have fun. If you get enjoyment from it, fine, you know? But, for me, to pick up that Vampirella, it's kind of not a Grail. So it's not something I go for. But I'm pretty sure once people get it and it's in their collection, it's going to be like, damn, it is really good. But isn't Prime 1 having another event in August, I think? I thought they were having another showcase. Hopefully it's not just Batman stuff. Hopefully they show off some new stuff. The only Prime 1 I have is the Green Lantern 1/4 scale that I converted into the Genis Vale. But that's a older item, I guess, now. That was even though it was a 1/4 scale item, the box was so damn big that I couldn't even get it into my studio. It had to go in my garage. I couldn't get it through my door. So I actually threw that box away because I figured the Genis Vale statue, I'm never getting rid of it anyway, so. But as far as Prime 1, like 1/3 stuff, no, I don't have any of that, any of those items. I repaired a lot of Batman heads for people, but I haven't had the actual statues. Why, Jacob, do you have any in your collection? I don't know, does anyone in chat have any in their collection? I know everybody bitches about the boxes. And the delay times. I know there's a lot delayed. So we're gonna fill up the hair underneath as well. So what do you think of the quality on them compared to the other companies? No, that makes sense. Yeah, the scopes do look amazing. But you're right about price-wise. That's it's always a factor. Yeah, I can see that. I agree with you on that. But that seems to be the norm now with pricing. No, I probably would get it, Jacob. That would probably be the one third I actually probably get. I mean, rumors they were supposed to do one anyway, but never, they never showed it off. So now, like once I see it, like once I would see like the prototype, that would probably be like, yeah, I would get it. Because even if the factory messes up on paint, I would just end up painting it myself anyway. But yeah, it all depends on the sculpt for me, because I could always repaint stuff. But even if they do get it, it'll probably, like you said, probably be like 2 years out. So I'm gonna try to get this hair right. Then again, I wonder if XM is ever going to make her as well, you know, with their DC line. Of course, I'll have to sell a kidney or two to get it, but Probably, Jacob. Usually when people ask for stuff, these companies are like, yeah, it's in the works, but nothing ever happens. It's okay. I got plenty of stuff to work on, and I got the sideshow items, so I'm pretty good. And the way things are going anyway, probably in a few years, you know, when 3D printing, and maybe if things get better with the economy and stuff, I could always commission an artist to sculpt me an item I want. And then I could print it out in the scale I want and be done. Seems like more and more people are going that route where they'll hire a sculptor, get their holy grail, and then they're out of the hobby. I look at it that way too. I'd rather spend the money and get the characters I want or make them than to buy stuff I'm really not into. But if you're a Wolverine or Magneto fan, the Facebook guys are making those like crazy. It's a good time to be a fan of those characters. And once the Fantastic Four movie hits in X-Men movies, I'm pretty sure that stuff is going to be made like crazy from the companies. Yeah, I'm sure they will, Jacob, but, you know, as long as companies can make the 90s versions of the characters, that's all fans really want anyway, so... I mean, if you talk to any X-Men fan out there, it's all Jim Lee era, or earlier. Anything recent, I don't think people really care about it that much. Hey Chris, how's it going? Did you ever finish your move into the new place? It's good to hear. Glad it's all done for you, Chris. Well, hopefully you build up a nice little studio for yourself so this way you can get back to work. I know it sucks when you don't have that set up to get everything done. Mine was actually busy. I used the days to get a lot of work done. This weekend is where I'm celebrating it more. I'm going to a barbecue and a comic book show this weekend, so last weekend was work, this weekend's the fun. You're in Canada too. Didn't you celebrate Canada Day? My friend was making fun of me with 4th of July, so I was making fun of him with Canada Day. Ah, okay. Yeah, my neighbors have been doing fireworks non-stop next to me for the past week, so it's kind of been 4th of July every day lately. Ever since they made it legal in New Jersey, fireworks are everywhere. Yeah, we go all out crazy here. And if the town's not doing it, everyone's doing it in their backyard, so it's always going on. It's funny too, because when I grew up, fireworks were illegal in New Jersey, and now they're legal, which doesn't make any sense, but then again, we used to blow stuff up all the time back in the day. Maybe that's why. Since she's got a lot of hair, let's bring more down here. Screw it. There is some places I think will do decals for you, if you can find them. If not, I think there is, decal stuff you can print out. So you can buy, I think, sheets of decal stuff, and then you could print onto the sheet. But if you know any printing companies out there, like you know, like Archer Fine Transfer Details that do the eye decals. You can contact them. I don't think they do custom decals, but you know, if the price is right, maybe they would help you. You could try Etsy. Maybe there's people on Etsy who can, you know, take your artwork and print it onto a decal sheet. You know, look up water decals. Maybe somebody on Etsy could help you. If not, if you have an inkjet printer, you can try that. I mean, I've tried to paint tattoos in the past, and you can do it if you slowly build it up with like water layering, but it doesn't always work. Like this hair is becoming a mess here. I don't like it. Yeah, tattoos are never easy. I've tried in the past, and an old-fashioned way of doing it is if you can. So, back in art school, if we ever wanted to do something like that, if you have a projector, you could see online if they have small projectors, and what you can do is you can put the piece of artwork in the projector and you can project it onto your statue, like, you know, have the lights off, and you can slowly, like, water trace it. And if you slowly trace it, you can sort of build up the tattoo that way. I don't know if they have those, you know, projectors anymore. That was like a big thing when I was in art school, was to like project your artwork onto a piece of paper. And I got some major cleaning up to do in there, but I think that's as far as I'm gonna get it. Yeah, I don't know if they make any small ones, but you know, that was a big thing back in the day when like you wanted to trace something onto an artwork, or if you wanted to, like, you know, say you did a little sketch about this big, but you want to make it like 10 times bigger, you could get the projector and you could project it onto a larger piece of paper. So if you could find something like that to project onto a small statue area, you can probably sort of trace it. But probably the best idea would be to see if you could find, you know, decal paper. But the only problem with decal paper is you'd have to use specific ink for it, because certain inks would probably bleed underwater. So I know they used to have decal printers, but that's all old technology stuff that you really don't find anymore, you know? Alright, that looks better. So the thing I'm going to do is we're going to take this piece and we're going to sort of create an armature for next time. So basically, you take this, I'm going to use some solvent. So that way, I could build the hair on top of this. I might have to shrink this down some. Didn't give her full hair, so we'll, yeah, okay. So even if that falls off, if it cures up like that, I could always put a dab of glue there. So we can use sort of the piece as a, you know, part. Because trying to build Aves up to this, it'll just keep falling down. So if you have something to stick there, it'll work better. So let's try and, safety solvent and push this in. So that should bond pretty well there. Yeah, so I think the hair's looking pretty good. I'm trying to build up that, you know, big swoosh she has over to her side. So just trying to build that out. And then this side's thinner. A lot of hair in the back. So what I'll do is next time what we'll do is I'm going to build out this part. And then I'll see if I need to bring more in the front. I might need to bring this into the front more to go all the way up to the elbow since she has so much hair over there. But we'll see how it looks once I do that. Once I do this side, I'm gonna prime her up, I'm gonna clean her up, and then we'll see how she looks. Yeah, so I'm gonna build up around here, build up there, go in between the fingers, kinda bring it up a little bit more. Pretty simple. You keep plugging away at it, you know. Actually, you know what we'll do too, since we have a little bit of Aves, just to sort of lock this in place. Take the Aves, sort of let that cure up over that, so this way I don't have to worry about glue. Yeah, so that'll lock up pretty well like that. I really don't need to worry about up here, but I can do a little bit over here. There you go. So that'll lock that into place pretty well. Yeah, she's getting there. Yeah, I might have to bring it down a little bit in front of the face here. I can't do it right now because I'll just keep pushing it around, but I think maybe if I come down a little bit more, sort of cover the eye a bit, a little bit over there, it might work. What do you guys think? Yeah, because I can't mess with it too much now, but maybe coming down a little bit more. I don't know. But, alright, I think that's where I'm calling it for today. Got a lot done. So hopefully next week we can work on her some more. Work on April. If I could figure out the hands a little bit more. And hopefully I'll get the other two girls finished up and videos on those. So thanks for stopping, guys. I appreciate it. Have a good weekend. And see you next week.